Hey, good morning. Hey, this is Christy Mattoon here from Mind Rewire. I'm back here in what we call the cave, and I want to do a video on sprouts because the little group that I run, we were actually texting each other the other day, and they were talking about sprouting. So I want you to think about, with the upcoming impending food shortages, like this is going to get real quick, what is it you can grow the most of the quickest and give you ample nutrition, protein, aminos, right, minerals, vitamins, right, the most bang for your buck. What I'm thinking is probably sprouts. So it's what I'm showing you today is what I'm doing. I am a chef, as you can see what I'm wearing here. My hair is crazy, I haven't put it up yet, but don't look at that. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing sprouting in the kitchen. We're going to start right here in the cage, and this is the supply of stuff I have here right now, and I'm going to show you the company that I'm using. So you can see that's one of the grains we grow, or one of the seeds we grow a lot of, and this comes from, what is this place called? Let me find. True Leaf. These all came from True Leaf Market, right? It's right out of here, out of Utah. This is another one that we grow a lot of, is this radish. It comes up really nice. I do a lot of this one. It's a 3-part mix. All right, I've got amaranth in here. This is more of the radish. We bought a whole bunch of it. I've got fenugreek back there. I've got some going out front. I'll show you in just a minute. I'm sprouting lentils. One of the other chefs here, one of our nighttime sous chefs, or our nighttime sous chef, Dylan, actually said to me the other day, have you ever sprouted lentils? And I was like, I actually have not. Let's try that. So we had some black lentils in the back, and we also had some red ones. So I tried sprouting both of those. The black ones sprouted, the red ones did not. What I found out was a split lentil will not sprout. So they bought me some sprouting lentils. These ones are black. I try and do everything organic. Right, this is that same company, True Leaf Market. But then I went to the grocery store and I found green lentils, and I also found whole red lentils. Now this is it's an organic product by Simple Truth. I think this is out of Kroger. It's a Smith's up here in, is what they call it in Utah. The cool part is these are not split. Most red lentils are split, and these are also cheap. I think I paid $3.50. I say cheap, right? Cheap in our inflation era. But this is, let me see here, this is a pound, right? So this is 16 ounces of lentils, and I'll show you what it yields. It's crazy what this yields. All right, so another good company you can get some great sprouting seeds from. If you can't find them in your local natural grocer, you will also be able to find them at Johnny Seed, or just Google sprouts, right? Google sprouts, and you'll be able to find, I'm going to get my keys off of here, hang on just a second, I'm going to make you dizzy. You'll be able to find a lot of different kinds of sprouts if you just Google them. I'm going to make a couple pit stops here and show you a few things along the way. This area is usually pretty dark back here, so I have this little place in this weird little nook, and I set pans. This pan is full of red lentils, and these are starting to sprout. We've got a few little things you can see sprouting in there. This is day 2 on this pan. This one is black lentils. All of these need water. These are barely starting. You can see stuff coming up in there. I usually keep these pans pretty soaked, and right now they're all really dry. So I'm gonna throw some water on those, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Let me put the keys back in here. All right, now in here Here's another pan of green lentils. You'll be able to see these really clearly. So you can see all the little sprouts coming up. If I turn these over, you'll see, and this is only 2 days. This is this brand. All right. This is a little bit more probably than 8 ounces what you see on this tray. That's a lot of food. Once these sprout out and they're totally sprouted, what they will look like is this. All right, so this is what I pulled yesterday. The red ones I showed you back there didn't get quite as long of tails, and what they look like is this. All right, I'm going to show you where I stick these outside. These actually started getting little leaves on them when I stuck them outside, but these were literally 3 days in the back under that shelf that I just now showed you. All right, here's the black lentils. Same idea. Right, we try and keep moist paper towels on it, but whoever was using these last night didn't put the towel back on it. All right, so that's a usable product at this point. These are edible. Red ones are sweet. These ones are kind of neutral. They do have flavor to them, and these ones have a little bit more bitter, kind of a tanniny taste to them, but they're all delicious. All right, when I'm sprouting the rest of the stuff, they go in these jars. So I've got a 32-ounce ball jar. Usually 2 to 3 tablespoons of seeds go in these. This one was just started. You don't see many sprouts in it. This is the fenugreek seeds. Started on the 8th. Today is the 9th or 10th, I believe. Right, you don't see many sprouts in there. There's not a lot going on. How do I get these started is I take the seeds out of the bag, right? So even the lentils, I do the same thing. Here's a jar I'm about to start right here. And take the lid off, and then filtered water, right? Clean water. And I just pour it into the seeds. Okay, so just filling the jar about halfway. Now, if I was just starting these, if that was this jar, this would sit for 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours. And then I would dump it out and turn it on its side and let it sit. So they sit up on a shelf like this, and that's where they start sprouting, is up on that shelf. And once they've started sprouting, they look like this. All right, so here's a bunch of jars that are in sprout mode. These are the radishes. Right, these are all 3-part mix. So once they get to this stage, it's the same idea. Fill the jar with some water. Right, I do this in the morning. It's done again at night. You shake them around. I let them sit for a minute, and then you just take this to a sink and you dump the water out. Alright, so normally I would let that sit for a minute, let it soak in, and then you just dump the water out. Alright, so water in the morning, water at night. That's it. Five days, I think. So this is started on the 4th. Today, I think today's the 10th. Started on the 4th, today's the 10th. That's 6 days. That's 6 days of growth. When I stick these outside and there's sunlight, they actually start getting little green leaves. If I do these totally inside where these are normally growing, which is right up here, and they're growing underneath a fluorescent light, they don't get those little leaves. Right, so here's another jar up here. I literally keep them sitting on this shelf, right under the fluorescent light, and they grow just the same way. The lentils grow back there in the dark. I stick them outside and they started getting little leaves. All right, so the sunlight seems to make a difference if you can catch a day with good sunlight. On these ones, I already ran out of my water. Let's walk over here and get some more water. We are in an industrial kitchen, so that's kind of what you're looking at here. I get filtered water. Right, so this is an osmosis filter. You can see it back up there in the corner. That's where we get all of our clean water from, is that filter. And I'll just quickly show you how much water I pour on the lentils to get them sprouting. With all the noise in here, I hope you guys can hear this. I tried to do it before anybody got here, but people beat me. Alright, so here we are again. Here's the lentils. This is actually called fish paper, so thicker than a paper towel, but you could theoretically use a nice grade paper towel. So this is totally dry at this point, and what I do is I just take the water and I just soak the whole thing down. I don't necessarily want it swimming, but this is about to go outside. This is 2 days worth of growth. By the end of today, if it sits outside, if we get some good sunlight, which I think we're going to. Right, here's my outside area. I have a rack that I can sit stuff on. These little dividers right here keep direct sunlight off, so they get indirect sunlight most of the day. Some of the times, you can see I've been sticking sprouts out here. Most of the time, most of the time they get indirect sunlight. Sometimes I take these pans out so they get direct sunlight, but I don't leave them very long in the direct sunlight because it will burn them up pretty fast. All right. What else do I want to show you? I'll show you the paper in a second. The lids come off of Amazon. You want a lid with wire mesh. It has these little prongs on top of it, so you could theoretically turn the whole thing upside down and let it sit to drain. But what I found out is these will clog. See, you see it draining? Typically these will clog the sprouts themselves, or the seeds. Whoops, there we go. Will clog the holes in that, and you won't get good drainage, so I tilt it on its side. The other kind you can buy is this one. These are horrible. I don't recommend you wasting your money on them, but I would buy an ample supply of these because I'm pretty sure they come out of China, and that's about to stop hardcore. So get them while you can. All right, I hope that helps. I hope that shows you a little bit of what you can do. These were 3 days growth, right? This is a pan of sprouts from last round. What was the date on this? This was from, I pulled these on 6/4, so these grew for 6 days before that, and they're still in great shape. Right? So, oops, did you see that? They're still in great shape. They last for a while. Dylan was telling me that these will probably last for about 6 weeks if they don't get eaten beforehand. All right, 6 days to grow, 3 days to grow. Will last you for a while. They won't spoil fast if they're taken care of. I hope this blesses you. I hope it helps. Let me know down below in the comments with any other questions. Oh, let me show you the fish paper real fast. So paper towel, or this is called what we call fish paper. I don't know what it's really called. It's out of its box. But it's kind of like a heavyweight, it's just a heavyweight absorbent cloth. Right? So I usually use like 2 layers of this. But like I said, you could probably very easily use paper towels. Oh my goodness. And I wanted to quickly tell you too about the amaranth. Amaranth and chia seeds. Oh, my plates are, where are my plates? Let me see if I can find one. Here's one right here. Amaranth and chia seeds don't grow in the jars real well, but you can go get these little clay plates at the hardware store. This is like the base of a planter. And then I put a little round piece of that fish paper in here, get it wet, and then I put my amaranth on it. Think chia seeds, like the heads you used to paste the chia seeds over. They seem to grow better this way than they do, and amaranth also seems to grow better this way in a plate. And then I cover it with a little dome. I wish I knew where all that stuff went. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Hang on a second. We're going to get dizzy. Alright, so I cut a bunch of the fish paper into circles. Oops. I bought the bottom, right, the plate. This goes like that. Fish paper goes in there. I get that wet. Seeds, so I soak the seeds for 8 hours, amaranth, chia seeds, pour them in here, and then this is what would go underneath to catch water of a pot, again, hardware store, and then put that right on top, right? And I leave it like that. I set it under that fluorescent light out there, so fluorescent light, and it just sprouts. It just comes right up. It takes a little bit longer, the amaranth seeds, but it still sprouts. All right, this is Christy Mattoon. Time to seriously rewire the way you think about how you're getting food. If you're not growing food, should you be? You might want to really start considering playing with these ideas and literally play with it. I figured some of this out just because I watched a YouTube video and then I did what they said. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. I kept altering it to see what it would do. We literally tested in here underneath these fluorescent lights to see what we could grow. No sunlight at all, and it blew my mind how much food we could grow under a fluorescent light. Stick it outside, you get a little bit more green leaf to it, which would be more chlorophyll, which is really good for the system. So make sure if you can get some indirect sunlight on them, do that for sure. But experiment with all of this. The more you experiment, not only will you have fun with it because you can test and see what you can and can't do, you'll know when it comes time how to do this without having any hiccups. I have sprouted things that they said you could not sprout. One of my tricks is always to visualize it as if it's finished. Do it as if it's done. Don't do it as if you're working with a seed and you're not sure if you're going to get anything out of it. Visualize it like it's a full plate of food. You'll be amazed how much that'll do for your growing efforts, and even in your garden when you put seeds in your garden. All right, I have to get to work. I hope this helps. I love you. I hope this blesses you. Here we go. Have a great day.